When you think DEI and Paramount Global, you immediately go, oh yeah, Alex Kurtzman's Star Trek Discovery. They even called it Star Trek Diversity when it was on the air to try to mock the show. And it's pretty ridiculous and very funny. Of course, we know that the way that the first letters spell out STD really show what the diversity is all about over there. Now, they are announcing they're cutting numerous DEI policies in response to President Trump because they're trying to get their company sold, and there is a decision that's been blocking it, and they're trying to suck up to the federal government actually to get that through because they are in huge trouble. They've been losing tons of money, and they've been trying to sell their company for a long, long time. This is a giant shakeup at Paramount, and my question mark here is this going to be the end of Alex Kurtzman's Star Trek? Because without DEI policies, what is there in Alex Kurtzman's Star Trek? Who really doesn't have much else other than that, as the brand has just been sunk 100% over the last several years. We'll tie this in and see how this all looks in terms of its Star Trek news in just a moment. Please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things in science fiction. Really appreciate you guys for being here. And I am a science fiction author myself. If you like old Star Trek, like the 90s stuff, you're going to love this. This is The Stars Entwined. It's the first book of my Arroz War trilogy. We have a human spy who embeds himself on an alien starship in the middle of a war against humanity, where he has to bring back information to Earth for humanity's survival. He gets entangled in a lot of ways, and it's a lot of fun. It builds up over a 3-book trilogy. Huge payoffs at the end. The people love it. I get lots of kind words every single day, which I appreciate from my readers. So check this out. It's in the description below. Out of this year, I'm going to be doing a space exploration trilogy that's going to feel a lot like Next Generation. You're going to love it. Check this out. Get in on this series now and get in on my science fiction world, and I appreciate you. It's available on ebook, print, and audio in the description below. So Paramount Global CEOs George McCheeks, Chris McCarthy, and Brian Robbins announced big cuts to numerous DEI policies at the company in response to President Trump's executive orders. In a memo sent to staff and subsequently published by Deadline, Cheeks, McCarthy, and Robbins announced, as you may be aware, the current administration's executive order, a Supreme Court decision, and federal mandates require changes in the way the company approaches inclusions going forward. This is pretty interesting that this is going on right here. From there, the detail of the company will no longer set or use aspirational numerical goals related to race, ethnicity, sex, or gender of hires. This is pretty standard stuff. And by the way, it's always been against the law to do this. I mean, you cannot discriminate in hiring based on race, ethnicity, gender, sex, etc., because that is something that is part of our civil rights in America. Now, it's been used to twist and to say, oh, well, you can discriminate against white people and men because they're overrepresented. They lie about that sort of stuff, but they use this to push these diversity hires into everything. We remember at Disney that last year James O'Keefe actually had a big expose where he interviewed a higher up at the company, and the guy actually admitted that they pass up white people for promotions intentionally out there, and it got so bad that even a black guy who was supposed to get a board spot was passed up because his skin wasn't dark enough. It is that ridiculous how frankly racist these people are in these Hollywood circles. It's been a terrible, terrible thing, and I'm glad that this is changing at this point. From there, they detailed the company would do that, and then next they shared the company ended its policy of collecting race, ethnicity, sex, or gender data for U.S. job applicants on our forums and careers page, except for those markets that legally require us to do so. Really big stuff right there. Now, this is a huge corporate change because a lot of corporations do this. They actually do set quotas based on numbers for what races and what sexes and things like that they want in their programs. It's really crazy that they do this. And so this is a huge deal. And like I said, if you look at Star Trek Discovery specifically, you got like the Mary Sue Black lady in charge. She eventually gets a black dude to show up with her. You got the gays with her on the ship, one of whom's an ambiguous race gay. You got the fat, anxious redhead lady. And like that's like the whole crew right there. I mean, it's just like it is diversity hire the show. And it's even odd even with Strange New Worlds is like they couldn't even do it like on a Star Trek level. It's like, well, we have to have Captain Pike and we have to have Spock. They're kind of whitey. So everybody else will be a female on the bridge. And it's very, very weird, just how overwhelming that is. Doesn't make any sense in a military setting. And naturally, they use Dr. Mabenga, the black guy, who was in 2 TOS episodes, as the main chief, which kind of doesn't make sense in continuity, but they really wanted to tie it in to the original series somehow, and they really wanted to have a black surgeon, right? And so it's very obvious that those were very much diversity things. And then you get, of course, Lower Decks, which is the same thing, the Black Mary Sue, again, just like Discovery. This is all that Kurtzman's been doing, is just pushing diversity higher into these shows, and it's been wrecking things all the way around. And this is something that I guess they're not going to do going forward. So here's more of what they've revealed. They eliminated diversity, equity, and inclusion's qualitative metrics in our short-term incentive plan for qualified participants. This metric connected 5% of funding to our STIP program and the company's success and progress company-wide DEI initiatives, including aspirational representation goals. We now base 10% of STIP funding on our workforce culture and development qualitative metric. So to get rid of the gobbledygook, it's focused on building high-performing and inclusive culture. They're still using these terms, including through developing leadership and engaging our workforce. So, guys, we're going to actually have to change this to be about high-performing, meaning it's about merit now. Imagine that. Imagine having a company based on merit. You understand pretty quickly why all of Hollywood has been failing so hard over the last 5 to 10 years, because they've been trying to push this, and they've been just casting people based on their own little shallow representation of the world. They've been hiring people to write and direct based on the same thing, and not based on whether they're the best person for the job. And in fact, the best person for the job has been passed up many, many times because they're a white male. This is something that in the publishing industry you deal with all the time. I hear time after time, story after story of white males being told that they won't even get their manuscripts looked at by agents because they are, in fact, white males, and they're just not interested in their work. It's been absolutely crazy, and that's been a big, big problem for the book industry as well, but that's another story. So they concluded their memo to say, to be the best storytellers and to work to continue to drive success, we must have highly talented, dedicated, creative workforce that reflects the perspectives and experiences of our many different audiences. Values like inclusivity and collaboration are part of Paramount culture and continue to be. Well, what corporate gobbledygook to say that we have to back off of these official DEI programs? Now, Paramount is making their line in the sand clear there, using the word inclusivity, which obviously only means exclusivity when they talk about it, and they're excluding white males. It's always the agenda on this part, and they really want to keep doing that, but they're going to have to back off of it just to some extent, just because of the laws at this juncture and because of what's going on with their filing and sale of the company, which is being blocked at the moment, which they are hoping to change, right? So the memo in the executive order says critical and influential institutions in American society, including federal government, major corporations, financial institutions, medical industry, large commercial airlines, law enforcement agencies, institutions of higher education have adopted and actively used dangerous, demeaning, and immoral race and sex-based preferences under the guise of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion and accessibility that can violate civil rights and laws of this nation. It is illegal, these policies, that they violate the text and spirit of our longstanding federal civil rights laws. They also undermine our national unity, and they deny, discredit, and undermine the traditional American values of hard work, excellence, and individual achievement in the favor of unlawful, corrosive, pernicious, identity-based spoils program. So that's exactly what they've been doing. So he wanted to, of course, get rid of that right there. Now, what they've got going on with this whole sale that they have happening is the FCC's Enforcement Bureau has instructed to open an investigation to Comcast, NBC Universal to ensure your companies are not promoting invidious forms of discrimination and violation of FCC regulations and civil rights laws. So this is what they're doing with this sale right here. And so they're trying to scramble real quick to remove all the crap that they've been pushing over the last several years to get this passed through. We'll see what happens. If a sale does happen and this is now removed, you can guarantee that Alex Kurtzman's going to be out of a job. And that's what I'm hearing is happening. His contract's up in July of this year, and people are trying to see whether the ratings are there. Now, Starfleet Academy is not hitting till next year, and it's already done, so there will be a season 1 of that. But I doubt that's going to fix things, and I doubt that the promise of that is going to keep Kurtzman going. They know that that's going to be a failure. Nobody wants a Starfleet Academy show. show. We saw some crazy footage of it that just like looks like a diversity teen drama in a Star Trek skin suit. It's more crap that they've been pushing out that fans don't want, doubling down on this stuff. It's like Kurtzman's intentionally trying to destroy the brand in the name of his little political crusade, and that's what's been going on ever since Discovery hit the air. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Do you think that Star Trek can be saved, Kurtzman will be out, and Paramount's buyers can do something new? Love to hear from you. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to check out The Stars Entwined and its 2 sequels, guys. Grab the whole trilogy. It's in the description below. Really appreciate you for reading. We'll be back soon.